Ready for a Claret and Clear restart? Get Claret and Clear. Get to feeling like yourself again. 15 laps complete this time by. 2 caution flags tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading Greg Biffle, Kyle and Kurt Busch, and Jimmy Johnson.
You know how you can tell these tires are pretty hard? Did you hear them squealing when they took off on that restart? You got a lot of grip in the track and a pretty hard tire. They'll squeal like it.
And we had 14 cars, mainly cars at the back of the field, that made a pit stop. A lot of them making a lot of adjustments, like that 20 car who's trying to get their toe out adjusted.
Kyle Petty has just gone to the garage as Biffle looks low on Dale Jr. for the lead. And here comes Wild Thing. Kyle Busch in the 18 coming to the front, passes Dale Jr. for second.
Well,
passes Biffle for second and goes after Dale Jr. for the lead.
This is what everybody's standing up for right now, because they want to see how these two are going to handle each other. After last Saturday night, there's a lot of things on both drivers' minds.
And again, if you were not tuned in last Saturday night or you wasn't watching the pre-race, these two guys got together with less than 10 laps to go, spun Dale Earnhardt Jr. out. They're side by side at the start-finish line. Kyle Busch will take the lead away. There was the give and take right there.
Did you see what he did, Dale Jr.? He lifted in the middle of the straightaway to give Busch the line into turn 1, because he knows you can't do that.
Biffle got a really good run through the middle of 3 and 4 that time. He's going to bring Kurt Busch with him. They'll probably get the position away from Dale Earnhardt Jr. before they get down to turn 1.
Well, here's what happens. You get kind of freight train here, except you're on the outside. Once you get pushed up and cars start going by you on the inside, you got to find a hole to get back in.
All right, let's go to the garage where Steve Burns is with Elliott Sadler.
Mike, a lot of work going on this number 19 Dodge of Elliott Sadler's. Elliott, what happened there on the start of the race, and can they fix your car?
Well, we're going to try to fix it, and I just made a huge mistake. I got too far down under the white line. Actually trying to give Tony more room, and I just slid up into him, so I want to apologize to all the McDonald's people here, and I want to apologize to all the Tony Stewart fans. I know he's pretty mad at me, but it's nothing I did intentional. I've never had any problems with him, and surely don't want to start him tonight. Just a rookie mistake that I shouldn't have made.
All right, thank you, Elliott. Mike, he says they're going to try and get back out and turn some laps here.
Thanks, Steve. He is now joined in the garage by Kyle Petty.
Yeah, and I think Elliott's been a little hard on himself. I know he did get down on that apron getting in there, but that's not that you do that a lot here. I think it you know, you got to give and take it in that corner too.
Tell you what, Wild Thing, Kyle Busch, that 18 car, he has put her in the wind. He just ran his fastest lap of the race a lap ago. Look at the distance he's already put on Greg Biffle in the 16.
You know, I've seen guys check out like that here, but it doesn't last. You can't run this thing like you're qualifying every lap. You got to save a little something.
He's opened up a big lead, Krista.
Big indeed, Mike. In fact, Steve Addington just told him on that last lap he was 2/10 faster than the rest of the field. Kyle's car is just a little bit loose right now, but they know the track is going to tighten up. And by the way, when that caution came out on lap 1, Kyle said, "Oh, this is fun."
So far, so good. Juan Montoya's been into the wall and kept on going.
Let me tell you something. This is one of those nights when Steve Addington has his work cut out for him. I'm not talking about putting tires on that car. I'm talking about trying to.
Every time I open the gas.
I'm talking about trying to slow that boy in that 18 car down, because he can't run like he's running all night and last. You just don't do that here. I'm not saying you got to drive like you're on a Sunday drive, but you got to save a little something and not run wide open.
Last night in the Nationwide Series race, Kyle Busch was a contender, but crashed on lap 100, finishing 31st.
But you know, we had the privilege of sitting down with Joe and J.D. Gibbs this afternoon, and we all concluded the problem they have with Kyle Busch is actually a great problem to have, trying to slow somebody down. But they're right. Right now, he is running like 28.20s, and the closest thing to him is Greg Biffle in second. The 16 car just ran a 28.50.
How about the second place car, Matt?
He says the car's a little bit on the tight side and the sun is setting. He says that's pretty good at this juncture of the race. And Biffle told me that this place seems to him to be a little more like Charlotte than Darlington. To the fact that you've got so much grip, you've got grip, and then instantly it goes away. So therefore, if you have a mistake tonight, you'll feel even bigger impact. So tonight, you really have to be patient and really up on the wheel.
Yeah, the old lady in black, she's out there snickering right now. These old boys don't know that this is still Darlington. I got them right where I want them.
She may have a facelift, but she's still still the same.
She's going to reach out and touch somebody here before long.
Same attitude.
Another patient in the garage, Dr. Burns.
Thank you, Mike. The number 77 literally wiped off the side of Sam Hornich's car. Sam, what put you back here in the garage, and can you get back out on the racetrack?
I think we blew out a right front tire. We just went down into turn 3, and the car never turned, and it felt like the front end just dropped down and hit the ground. And it's unfortunate, but I'm really proud of the guys in the Low 1 Dodge. We've got a couple stripes so far this weekend, and they've worked really hard to get the car back out there and running, and they're going to work hard on it right now. We need as much points as we can get, and it's a shame because we go to places and we feel like we can really run good there, and we have issues like we did today, and we'll get around it one of these days.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, Sam ran really good last night in the nationwide race. I think he finished 12th, 14th on the lead lap.
A big key last night, just surviving.
Yeah.
11th place, Martin Truex, as Chris told you earlier, just one spot outside the 12 cars that will chase for the Nextel Cup. And David Reagan battling with Dave Blaney's number 22.
And Martin Truex Jr., we've been here for 2 days before today practicing. The one car was one of the better cars throughout all those practices. I talked to Kevin Mannion, his crew chief, earlier today. A little confused the car didn't drive as good qualifying, but he's definitely been marching to the front. He started back in 22nd. He's about to crack the top 10. He's back in 11th.
Kyle Busch has opened up a 3-second lead on pole sitter Greg Biffle. Older brother Kurt Busch in third. Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, the front five.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
34 laps complete, no change in the top 10 at Darlington, South Carolina. Here's our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for track-tested technology. Get there on Goodyear innovation. There is the big end of Darlington Raceway, now turns 1 and 2. The small end is 3 and 4. The track is somewhat egg-shaped.
And Mike, it doesn't matter how big a lead you get. Once you get into traffic, it all goes away. Right now, Kyle Busch is trying to get around Juan Pablo Montoya. He can't do it. And look, there's Biffle caught up to him. He had a 3-second lead, and the other guys are not too far behind.
And that 07 of Clint Boyer, he just put him a lap down. In fact, he put Boyer a lap down, who's in the top 12 in points, and he's working on 2 other cars just in front of him, Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart, that come in here in the top 12.
One thing I see on that 18 car that I do not like, glowing red rotors here at Darlington. That's not a good thing. That means he's using a lot of brake.
He called into the pits and said the brakes are junk.
I could see why.
Well, Larry, 5 of the drivers that came in here in the top 12 in the Sprint Cup standings started 32nd or worse tonight. And with a long green flag run, they stand the risk of getting lapped.
And Mike, a lot of those guys like Newman, and of course we know the problems that Tony Stewart had, Clint Boyer, a lot of them, they've been to pit road, both cautions that we've had. And that's one thing I'm a little afraid also. You got to make your car better, but you get stuck in the back, I think you're going to be stuck in the back.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, it's just amazing. Kyle Busch was flying around this joint, just pulling away from everybody. He's caught up to Juan there, and he can't get around him, and it's pulling all these other guys right back up to him.
He's backed his lap times down to a 30 flat, while some of the fast cars are running 0.4 of a second quicker.
And that just tells you how hard it is to pass here, Mike.
I tell you what, Robbie Gordon in the 7 car, a big tip of the hat, yeah, to Robbie, but to Walter Giles and that crew. Robbie wrecked twice yesterday, and he wrecked once qualifying. They sent the first car he wrecked back to Charlotte, North Carolina to repair, and they got that car back down here, started at the rear, and he's already working back up to 23rd. Now we got a battle for the lead with Greg Biffle back up on Kyle Busch, I think a lot because of that traffic.
Yeah, he got real bad loose off of turn 2 over there. Kyle did, and it allowed Biffle to really close up and almost pass him. Juan is just giving Kyle a tough time. He cannot get around him. He can get to him, but he can't get around him.